today we are on location right here in Linden, Alabama at our location, the OnPoint Network Studios. So before we get into meeting my awesome guests, today's show is all about ministry. So when we return with my phenomenal women, they will be with me to remove the mask on women in ministry. So we'll be right back. Phenomenal women in ministry with me. So I want you to welcome Miss Linda and Tamarian. Did I say that right? You said it right. Ooh, praise the Lord. I was head up. So I want to say thank you guys for coming out and joining me today while I'm here in Linden, Alabama to take a couple of shows. So I'm very grateful for y'all being here with me. But let's jump into this and see if we can remove some masks on women in ministry. So as a woman in ministry, do you think you're treated fair? Because my opinion, I would say, and even we're in 2021, but I think some male pastors still are not comfortable with women being in the pulpit. I don't care what denomination it is. I think some of them are still not comfortable with women being in the pulpit.
Well, my opinion, now this is only my opinion, when you're saying being comfortable or treated fairly, sometimes we're not even treated fairly by the women ministers either. So, you know, we have to continue to really pull back layers and sheets in the ministry.
So wait, let me attach a question to that since you said that, because you're a woman in ministry and dealing with other women in ministry. How are they gonna look at you any differently? Because you both have the same title. You know what I'm saying?
It's a spiritual tug of war. The same. Some of the women's in ministry. Now, this is only my opinion. So please don't DM down, message me or anything. Ask me why I said that, because it is true that it's still the same attitude in spirit that they have in the world. They bring it into the ministry with them.
And you can't.
The backbiting spirit, the shady spirit. You know, those things have attached themselves, and that we're not delivered and set free from those things. We often hide them, and it's those little secret conversations that's outside the church. You know, we find out in the pulpit, but trust me, there are secret conversations when you walk out. And then there's also cliques in the women's ministry.
So when you have all this is the show, because I know you guys have never been on the I Love show, but it's about removing the mask. So I'm just gonna remove it. You shouldn't be in ministry if you got all that going on.
Take it off.
Yeah, you shouldn't be coming to the table with that. If you've chosen to walk the path of God, you should not be in ministry, period. But I'm gonna let y'all finish.
I'll speak from the perspective of talking about men. They're not only pastors, just men who are ministers or preachers in general still have that idea that women aren't supposed to be in the pulpit. I'm not going to listen to such and such because it's a woman. I'm not going to show up because it's a woman. They still have that bias toward us.
And also, it's the South too. It's the South. It's the good old boys club. The club that is not going to lean really into the Word of God. Because, you know, in Revelation it says he's going to pour out his spirit upon all flesh, male and female, Jews and Gentiles, bonded and free. And to be in this area, it's still an area that where it's stifling the women's ministry. And if I remember when men's ministry, they first get ordained and come out, they'll be on fire. Every church around here, and I'm speaking, don't message me behind this. They're invited to, once they get ordained, they're invited to every church in 80-mile radius. But you let one woman come out and go to get ordained, it's like she doesn't even exist. Like that we can't even carry God's word.
And we've come too far for that.
We have. You can go to certain churches and have to sit in the audience, which okay, it is what it is, because that pastor does not want you in his pulpit. Yeah. When your pastor has to say, hey, such and such doesn't believe in female ministers, okay, cool. So you're still going to be supportive of your pastor, but I'm okay sitting in the congregation too.
And they want to address you. They want to address you as your title. At the title that you were given when you get ordained, they want to address you by.
But you didn't go through class. And that's my next question. What inspired both of you to go into ministry? Because that is, I think, you need to be called to that. You can't just wake up. Some people wake up one day and say, oh, okay, I'm going to do this because they think it's easy way to make money. I don't know what they're thinking. But that is, to me, that should be a calling from God.
You use the key word. It's a calling.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say I've never understood where certain people are like, oh, because my grandfather was a minister, I'm going to be a minister. No, it is a calling from the Lord to be in ministry. It should not be, oh, I'm going to do this. Because as Christians, we're supposed to minister anyway. But as far as having that particular title, you don't choose that. God chooses you. He calls and chooses you.
And for me, I stand on the shoulders of some great women. My mother, rest in peace, Annie Lee Harris, she was a part of a women gospel group, the Echo Gospel Singers, and they were strong women. Sister McGinnis was the first woman prophet that I saw. She was a prophetess. I didn't know at the time that my walk of life that I went through, I knew at an early age that a calling was on my life, but I didn't know exactly what it was. But I knew I was drawn to the more spiritual side that I was trying to run from that my mother instilled in me. And so the calling, it just don't happen. You just don't jump up and say that you want to be a minister.
No.
Because it's a big burden. It's a big burden to carry.
It is.
You know, it's a very big burden to carry. The mantle that we carry is hard. And my thing was I ran from the ministry. I ran from the ministry because I knew what it takes. But also I grew up with brothers being preachers. And I had to stifle my calling. Okay, I had to stifle me because they was getting more pushed. They was getting pushed to do it. Where me being a female, I was told to sit down somewhere. Sit down somewhere. And the more that I began to go outside of my area, I said Demopolis, Linden, Gallion, Greene County, Greensboro. When I went into Atlanta, I moved to Atlanta. That's when I began to see more of a spiritual movement, spiritual growth for me.
I didn't run from my calling. I just wanted to be sure. I was asking any and everybody, well, not any and everybody, as far as ministers go as such. And it was something. I just wanted to be sure because this is a big thing. Like she said, for me, I wouldn't necessarily say burden, so to speak, but it is a lot to carry.
What advice did you get when you asked different ministers, should you go into ministry? What advice did you get? Did you get
it was
positive or negative advice?
Positive, yeah. And I was telling them my story of how I knew I had to come into the calling. And one minister was like, well, how does God let us know? And I'm like, well, there's his word. And he was like, and through other people. And that is actually how I was aware of my calling. Because I was already ministering anyway, I love kids. And so being a mentor to them, I was already ministering with them anyway. I would pray with them in class when I would go in there and everything. So I was already pretty much there, but I didn't know of the specific calling to ministry until 2016.
Okay. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we're going to continue this conversation and continue to try to peel back some layers on women in ministry. So we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Willie Adolph of the Adolph Group at Equity House Properties. I'm here today to talk to you about home purchasing. You know, a lot of times people want to know, where do we start, when do we start, how much do we need to save, what our credit score need to be like, can I really move in now? And the answer is yes. The thing is that you want to get pre-approved first before you even go house shopping, because what you wouldn't want to happen is that you find the perfect home, but the bank won't qualify you for your mortgage. So always get pre-approved first. So find a good lender, which we have a lot of resources for you on that. Second, you want to make sure that anything that's on your credit, if it's something that you can work with, let's work with it, because everything on your credit, you know, it depends on what it is for each mortgage company. And third, once you get that pre-approval, now it's time to go house shopping. Now, Willie, what about the money, the down payment and things like that? Well, they have a lot of programs that's out there. So based on your credit will depend on the down payment assistance that you can receive. But we do have a lot of resources and a lot of things that can help you. And everyone with the Adolph Group will hold you by your hand and walk you through the whole process. So you can contact us at www.theadolphgroup.com or 281-451-7087. And remember, when you have will, you have a way.
Back now, I'm still here with my guests, and we're going to see if we could pull back some more of the mask on women in ministry. Now, if you caught a little bit of what they said before, at times they talk about where you're not treated fairly, and that's from women and men. So let's see what else. How do you guys keep yourself focused, and not just from some of the negativity with being in ministry, but as a human being? Because yes, you're women in ministry and ministers, but you're human first, you're female first. How do you stay focused and stay focused on the word?
And you want this honestly?
Yeah.
Okay. The way I stay focused is because of my walk of life. The battles and the trials that I have went through, I often face those battles alone. Even though I did have my mother and my sisters and my brothers, I often hid stuff in private and in shame.
Yeah. So
with me being a woman in ministry, I began to know how to rely solely on the Spirit of God for my comfort. You know, everything's not meant to be shared.
Exactly.
That you go through. But it comes a time when the release comes. See, God will let you know when to share. Because when you share, it'll uplift somebody, it'll heal, set free, or deliver them.
Exactly.
So that's how I deal with me being separate. It's a battle of being not invited to churches to minister, even though I'm an evangelist. It's a battle to see that even though you birth something and it's still not recognized.
And you work hard to get there, because that's not an easy journey.
I was told by some men in the ministry that I had to present my papers before I ministered.
Oh.
Yeah, I had to present my papers.
What you say?
I said, I want to speak here then. Well, God will make room for me. And He's doing it today. Thank you. Thank you very much.
How do you keep focused?
Focusing on the promises of God. He will send there are different scriptures He'll lead you to. There are people that He will send you to or send to you. Things on the television, or just hearing something out of the blue on one of the programs I'm listening to on the radio. Just remembering those things and relying on people that you know God has sent for you to rely on, because he said that, you know, we need each other. And that was a thing that even years ago, I was like, I don't need anybody, this and that. The song, I Need You, You Need Me, I was like, whatever. And literally, God says this, it's in his word that we need each other.
Yeah, we do. Are you both single or married? How?
I'm single. I'm single.
So how does that work? How does that? I say how does that work because you're women in ministry and you're ministers. So when you meet someone, if you decide to date, and you meet someone, how do? Let me see how I can say this. Do you look for them to be? Because I do believe you should be equally yoked with someone. Mm-hmm. So do you look for that? Or you try to work with them with their flaws? And, you know, because like I tell people, and I've said this before, my father wasn't perfect because no one is perfect. And my father would normally only step into a church when somebody died. And that normally had to be a close relative that he had to go ahead and go to the funeral. Or my mama made him go. But overall, as a father, as a provider, a husband, my parents were married for almost 60 years before he passed away. And my mom went to church. He wouldn't go to church with her. So how does that work? Because a lot of women I meet, they want you to be in church too.
Well, I want him to be in church too. I want him to be the head of the home. I want him to be strong in relationship with God. And you know, you said, do you accept their flaws and all? Yes, you accept their flaws and all. Because I think that's different from being unequally yoked. So, because we all have flaws, but they have to be in a certain point with God for me to date.
And with me, I was married 26 years. Okay. The love of my life. After that, after being in the ministry, I dated, but it wasn't what God put for me. It was what I wanted. You know, we as women ministers, we want to hurry up and have a man on our own, just to say that we're whole and complete. You know, we want to be married, but it is not what we have in plan. That's what God has in plans for us. You know, we think we hide it that in the ministry that if we don't have a husband that we're not complete. You know, we're not whole. But to me, being single is good because I'm beginning to find myself after being married 26 years. Going to some dark times when my husband died. It's to me, I'm learning myself now, and it hasn't been easy. I have dated. I have been with someone.
But is it
hard?
Is it hard for you to date someone when you meet someone? Is it hard and you tell them you're a minister? Do they treat you differently, or is it hard to?
The guys that I've come across have been accepting. I've come across maybe one or two was like, oh, that scares me, but they still talk to me and I still talk to them. So for the most part, the guys have been receptive.
Yeah. And I'm dating now. And it's a long distance relationship.
Ain't no wrong with that. You ain't got to see them every day.
So the thing about me is it's two different religions.
Yeah.
So we're under two different religion titles. So I'm dealing with that issue now because, can I keep it real? Islamic Muslim have been brought up to me through the person I'm dating now, and I'm sort of torn because my love for Jesus Christ is more important to me than being in a relationship. So I had to pull back because it was trust.
I was in the same boat with the guy who is in Islam. I wasn't torn. That's negative.
Jesus. Yeah.
That's a negative for me.
Yeah.
No.
Jesus is my all. So therefore, I had to pull back. I had to redirect my thinking.
And I can understand that because I met some years ago a gentleman pastor. first of all, I do not see myself as first lady material. Let's understand that. First of all, because the first time you piss my husband off at the church, you gonna really see the first lady around home.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not first lady material, but he was of a different religion. So I had to, that was one of the, it was more than one thing that I had to weigh, and that was one of the things. If I stayed dating this individual, that means I would have to change my religion, you know, and I was like, do I want to do that? It wasn't so much from what I learned about his religion and mine, it wasn't too much of a difference, but still, changing religion, moving to another state, and being a stepmother was a lot. But religion that was like one of the things. So I do understand that.
You know, scripture says be not unequally yoked. And so that's why I find myself now, so I have to pull back. And even though the love that I carry for this person is way stronger, but the love of Jesus Christ is stronger. So I'm not going to cross that sea with nobody. I'm not going to separate my love for God for something else. I won't do it.
That's understandable. So my last question before we close out is, what words of encouragement will you have to another female wanting to go in ministry? Because again, ministry is not for the faint at heart, and for women, again, 2021 is some pastors that will not accept a woman in their pulpit. What words of encouragement would you have to give another female?
Definitely pray about it. Pray about, where God wants you to be, who He wants you to be under, what direction He wants you to go in your ministry, so that you are absolutely sure. And also, I would say it's not easy. No. I'd have to let them know it's not easy. And another thing, don't run from your ministry. Just find out where you're supposed to be.
And my advice is, God will put you in the presence in the midst of people that will support you. When you in your when you know when you've been called, find a support group. We have people that we talk to outside of family and friends. Find a support group, because being in the ministry, it's not easy. It's a burden, because you're gonna have a lot of no's instead of a lot of yeses. You're gonna see other women succeeding before you in the ministry. So you have to strip off that jealousy cloth. Okay. Also, you're gonna have to strip off that backbiting cloth. You have to strip off. Have to strip off that envying cloth, because we will see other women that start in the ministry later than we do, but they will excel. But you have to look at why and how they're excelling. So when you find God is doing a better and greater work in you, learn to be patient and wait. Be patient and wait, because when those doors need to open for you in the ministry, as a woman in the ministry, they're open. Because God will set forth a path for you that no man can block. Be patient. And I'm a strong believer in prayer and fasting. Okay, you have to be able to give up something to gain something. So fast, rest, because in the ministry, if you do not rest in your body, in your spirit, you're tired out, because the fiery darts that the enemy will shoot at you, minded through people, through your jobs, through your children, through your husband, through any walks of life. Rest. Find you some time to get away for yourself, by yourself. Okay? And don't think it's terrible to turn off the phone. Unplug. Take some time.
It's not.
To be in the ministry, it's a burden. It's a burden. It's a lot to bear. Okay? So find time to rest, fast, pray, read, study. Study to show yourself approved. Stay under the covering of the word. And don't look for approval from everybody, because it's not going to happen.
No,
it's not going to happen.
Yeah, don't worry about that pat on the back.
Yeah.
You're doing it for God, not for
Long as
men.
he
You're not trying
pats
to
you on
please
the
him.
back, that's all that
Absolutely.
matters.
And he'll put forth and set people in your path. And the only thing you have to do is be patient. Don't grow weary. And don't faint. But stay under the covering and stay in the spirit. And let God train you. Don't let people.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
You're going to get discouraged, but it's okay. You're going to get tired, but it's okay. Sometimes you're going to cry, but it's okay. Take all of these things and put them at the feet of the Lord, and everything will turn out fine. It'll work out. He will work those things out.
Okay.
And learn to wait. Don't be in a
I
hurry.
think that's something
We
that
all
need
in
to
the
know
ministry. We
today.
want our churches and we want our pastors and that. We have to learn to wait.
Yeah.
And be still.
I was so glad that I had to wait, just piggybacking off you, because when I initially was aware of my call, I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll do this sermon in May, and then the months kept rolling around. I was like, really? And I was so glad that I waited. I was glad that God put me in a position to wait. He's like, I need to show you this, so you need to hold up. And so, yeah, be patient.
And I think that's something, not just with being in ministry, just in general, we don't know how to wait.
Yeah.
We want things
Yeah.
like right in there.
That instant gratification, yeah.
That microwave.
Yeah.
Everybody's not gonna.
Yeah.
Gotta keep it real. Everybody's not gonna be in a church with 10,000 seats. I might have to go minister to one person,
And what
and God will put one person in your path.
you can have 10,000 seats, and you could have only 200 real members
Yeah.
with 10,000 people. So I'm just saying.
And just know your ministry. Know your ministry, know your calling, and know that each one teach one. And when you teach one, they reach one. So that's where I'm at.
Okay. Well, I want to thank both of you guys for being here with me today. I so greatly appreciate you coming out and talking to me about a subject that's normally not touched and simply put on the back burner.
Yeah.
And we're in 2021, so that's sad to say. But thank you again for being with me. And we'll be right back to close out this show.
Do you have less than perfect credit? Are you getting denied for loans and credit cards? Well, contact us today for your free consultation and learn the secrets of financial freedom. We can help with late payments, collections, judgments, bankruptcies, will, trust, and more. We get results. Let us help you. For more information, contact Nikki Ferguson at 281-788-9462.
$100 on chicken nuggets?
$100 on chicken nuggets. Really?
How'd you get in my house?
I'm with Wisdom Tax.
Wisdom Tax, so you can help me with all of this.
Most definitely. Looks like you need help in bookkeeping.
So what about maximizing my refund?
We can only maximize your refund if you get organized. Here at Wisdom Tax and Financial, we teach you how to be free. 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 Free.
Free! Awesome! So I can be free of these receipts.
Most definitely. Please give us a call.
Thank you. Can you free yourself out of my house, please?
Only if you promise to give us a call.
I'll give you a call. So I can be free.
Wisdom Tax. Learn to be free.
I want to thank all my guests for being here today, and hopefully we pull back many masks on women in ministry. If you would like any information on these guests, contact the Our Life TV show at gmail.com or the OnPoint Network. Always, until next time, guys, always empower, encourage, pull up to the table without fear, but with confidence, and continue